Hey everybody, this is Joanna. Today's video is going to be about planets in the third house, and I forgot to mention to say happy birthday to all my Geminis. I haven't made a video in a little bit, but I did want to say happy birthday to all my Geminis out there. I know I'm a little bit late, but better late than never, right? And this is my Gemini. This is Edgar. This is Edgar, and he is very much a Gemini. His birthday is this month. He is 10 years old, so this is a big one, and he is everything Gemini. He is spicy, sexy, sweet, switch hitter. He's just a beautiful man. And so say happy birthday to Edgar. He is 10 this summer. It seems like yesterday when I brought this bundle of joy home, but we've been together so long, and he is very much a Gemini personality. If I had his whole chart, he'd probably be a Gemini rising, Gemini moon. Anyways, I want to get back to the topic at hand about planets in the third house. As you guys know, in astrology, and all my astrology videos that I make are based on Western tropical astrology, not Eastern or sidereal astrology. So you will need your Western zodiac to follow along with these videos. But the house is really important because the sign, the planet, is the energy, and the house is where that planet is where that sign is taking place. So knowing the whole astrology chart is very important. Of course, I do everything very, very simple because I just don't have the time to get complicated in these. There's a lot to astrology, as I always say all the time. We find the ruler of the ruler and the final dispositor of every single planet, every single house, So just to keep things short and sweet, let's go ahead and start with the sun in the third house. Regardless of what your sun sign is, I don't care if it's Aries, Capricorn, Pisces, if you have a sun in the third house, you're gonna have a Gemini flavor to your personality. People sometimes could even think you are a Gemini, and if they don't know your whole chart or whatever, you could kind of just come across like that. So what this is you are going to be inquisitive by nature. Your sun is your ego, so you are going to be probably, I always say the third house, that natural ruled by Gemini, and the planet Mercury can be very quick-witted. That's one of the positive things. And these people are just, they're inquisitive. That's really what it is. They can be talkative depending on other aspects. Not every Gemini is talkative, and not everybody with the sun in the third house is talkative, but they have that ability to talk and communicate with a wide variety of people. And, they come across as interesting, basically. They can come across as very interesting because they not only like to know a lot about a lot of different things, but they can be good listeners too, because communication is one of their things. The moon in the third house, moon is our emotions, it rules women. With this particular placement, this might explain and describe your mom. So your mom could have been a very talkative person or whatever. Now with the thing with the moon in the third house is the moon is moody, and the third house can kind of swing, so there could be a tendency towards mood swings, but emotionally, these people and their moms typically will have a very, I guess, very active imagination, because the moon, it is ruled by Cancer and is water. And so they have the ability to be very creative. Their imagination is very strong. You might want to watch out for a little bit of paranoia with this placement. But sometimes it's okay to be paranoid, because sometimes there's a little element of truth. And I know that from the work I do with my paranoia. There can be some truth to paranoia. It may not be as extreme as you're thinking it is, but your intuition is telling you something. But you want to watch out for those mood swings and stuff like that. Mercury in the third house, this is like double trouble. These people are really, I think, very intelligent people. And they're not only intelligent, but they really have an interest in learning. So not only in the traditional sense, I'd have to look at where it's hitting other aspects in the chart. This is very basic. This is not complicated what I'm talking about today, but there's an interest in traditional education, like, getting more higher degrees or whatever, but there's also an interest in just learning on your own and studying things. If Pluto is somehow an aspect to it, there will be like complete tunnel vision with studying what you want to study. But I'll get to Pluto in a second. That's an outer planet, but that is Mercury in the third house. Venus in the third house is, you're going to come across as charismatic. You just are. I don't care if you're a guy, if you're a girl, you're going to be very charismatic, and people are going to be drawn to you because, Venus is a nice soft planet, and Mercury is the way we think. So put these two together with the third house there is, you're going to come across appealing, communication wise, you're going to come across appealing. And to others, Mars in the third house, these people are super direct. It's just the way it is. They don't like to mince words. They pretty much say what they mean and mean what they say, and they don't like small talk and frivolous information that's kind of useless. They just like to get to the bottom line. Saturn in the third house, early on in life, there could have been a definite tendency towards extreme shyness, and a lot of times I'll even see this with Capricorn in that house, you know, because Saturn rules Capricorn. It doesn't mean that they're going to stay shy, but just when they're little, because a lot of astrology has a lot to do with what happens when we're young, you know, and then we have free will after that. Sometimes there can be learning disabilities early on with this, sort of like when someone is born when Mercury is retrograde, there can often be some kind of learning disability, but a lot of times people grow out of this, they get over it. It's not really a big deal. You know, you maybe just get extra tutoring or whatever, and everything works out beautifully. So that can happen because remember, Saturn is delays. So there could be even delays with communication early on and things of that nature. Neptune in the third house. So this can go either way. I have seen this placement with really, really great musicians and creative people in general. But also there can always be a sense of confusion around the person. And I had a friend who had a Mercury conjunct Neptune, so it's kind of a little bit similar. And he was real creative and real talented, but he was like always late all the time. And sometimes he would just like forget to show up to appointments because Neptune kind of makes us be like somewhere else. So it's just, we're not necessarily grounded on planet Earth. If there's a strong Neptune going on in a house or somewhere, it's where we need to look for disillusionment. Also with this placement, we attract our charts. I always say that. So you always want to look for, be wary of people lying to you or not telling the truth, you know, and that's true with all of us. But with Neptune in the third house, there may be more of a tendency to attract those types of individuals. Pluto, I touched on that a second ago in the third house. Again, intense studying, can be very intense verbally. Good writers a lot of times, and a lot of times there'll be psychic ability because of Pluto there. Same with Neptune, really, just in different ways. It manifests in different ways. But you'll see a lot of times, you know, these people are great psychiatrists, psychologists because Pluto's there. And also there could be an interest in metaphysics or the occult because Pluto is uncovering all the depths. Think of FBI agents too, could have this one too with Pluto. They uncover things. That's what really metaphysics is. It's uncovering stuff. You know, that's what astrology is. It's a lot of research. It's uncovering things that are hidden, basically, just like a detective would do, or somebody in the FBI, right? Or a psychiatrist or a psychologist, all kind of similar. And finally, I want to talk about Uranus. So Uranus, since it rules all things unpredictable and you know, everything else in the third house, these people could have like sudden changes in their communication style, sudden changes with siblings, because the siblings rules the third house as well. So everything could be good, and then all of a sudden, boom, it's over. But you know, that's where Uranus is. And when we have a transit, I've talked about this before, you know, we get changes in life. It just goes, it hits your planets. It's just boom, 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 boom. So the Uranian person would also have good intuition, but this would be more in terms of flashes. I always call those Uranian flashes because it's not so much dreaming it. It's like, boom, it just hits you. You know what I mean? It's almost like somebody out there is looking out for you and gives you the information. So, that's the Uranian thing. Again, you guys want to watch out if you have this placement for impulsive, you know, try to think before you speak, because sometimes people put their foot in their mouths and, you know, it just happens. But with Uranus there can be a lot of impulsivity with our communication because the third house is all about communication. But overall, this is the planets in the third house. By the way, my tickets are for sale. I'm going to be in California in July doing a show at VA House Casino and Resort. If you visit their website, VA House Casino and Resort, and click on entertainment, you can go ahead and buy a ticket. We're doing a little meet and greet after if you want to meet me in person. So, all right, you guys have a great day. Bye.